Dust descended, choking and blinding me. Holy freaking cow, she was right. Coughing, I pushed myself up and stumbled toward the boardwalk, where a group of evening strollers stood transfixed. An elderly woman was the first to come to my aid, taking my elbow and leading me farther away from the destruction. "Are you all right?" she asked, concern pouring from her kind eyes. My still ringing ears made out a muffled British accent. She looked awfully familiar, but I couldn't place her. Probably just one of the tourists I'd seen around the resort over the course of the day. I'm fine. I think. My voice shook more than I thought it should, and my body started to follow suit. I sat down abruptly, right there on the edge of the boardwalk. Guess my legs weren't taking the situation too well. Still, buzzing in the back of my brain like a 200-pound mosquito was, damned if she wasn't frickin' right. She was my mother, whose favorite saying when I was growing up was, "God punishes right away." Mom popped that little gem out every time one of us kids got hurt while doing something naughty, and here I'd only been contemplating having sex with somebody else's boyfriend, and kaboom! If that wasn't right away, I didn't know what was. Sure, the sex was contractually sanctioned by my client as per our working arrangement, but God probably didn't care about loopholes. Though, as loopholes go, you have to admit it's a great one. Not much can top your client telling you, after serious consideration of the clause in question, "Well, I guess if you're being me, then he's not really cheating, right?" Yeah, I know. My clients can be kind of out there, bless their gotta have what I want when I want it hearts. If people weren't so impatient for results, I wouldn't have a business. I glanced skyward warily, on the lookout for any residual fallout from on high. No lightning bolts, so maybe I was being let off with a warning. A fierce flash of joy at still being alive swept through me, making the urge to jump up, shake my fists, and yell, "Ha! Missed me!" almost impossible to resist, but I managed. I hoped God gave extra credit for restraint. The old lady turned to one of the gawkers and spoke firmly. "Young man, do find some water, if you would be so good." The boy kept gaping. "Now! Please. Go." He went, snapped out of his fixation by her command. She may look like a dowdy old tourist, but authority fairly dripped from her. After turning back to me, she said, "Now then, was there anyone else inside with you? I noticed you had a companion earlier today." "No, my friend wasn't there. I was alone." "Fortunate," she said, looking quite pleased. "I doubt anyone could have survived that." She gestured toward the remains of the bungalow, shaking her head. A middle-aged man in a Hawaiian shirt, linen pants, and leather sandals came running from the direction of the resort's office, stopping when the dust got too thick for him. He put his hands to his head, grasping for hair that hadn't been there in quite a while. "Holy shit! What happened?" He turned toward us, homing in on me. He knew it was my bungalow. He'd been the one to handle the rental. I waved weakly and shrugged. "Miss Worthington, thank God you're okay." He rushed over and went down on one knee next to me. For a crazy second, I thought he might propose. "Hi, George, how's tricks?" I quirked a smile at him, not much caring how Mina would have reacted under the circumstances. I figured shock was a big umbrella for any possibly inappropriate behavior. "I don't know what to say. I don't know how this could have happened. You are okay, aren't you?" He scanned my arms and legs, dirty and scraped but not bleeding much, then rose and looked frantically around. "Oh my God, where's Mr. Harrison? He's not." The last was a horrified whisper. "Relax, George. Trey was out." George looked like he wanted to ask more questions, but was interrupted by the sound of approaching sirens. The water boy returned, bearing designer water in small plastic bottles. When I reached for one, I realized I had Mina's phone in a stranglehold. I was trying to pry open my fingers when it rang. I dropped it like it had stung me. Good Samaritan lady picked it up and handed it to me. I checked the number. It wasn't one I recognized from Mina's file, and spoke cautiously. "Hello?" "I see you made it out in time. Smart girl." Same voice as before. The one who had Trey. "I try."